Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James and welcome back to the Soundline. So today what I've got for you guys is Sonos have just released their brand new amp. That's what it's called, just the amp, not the ConnectAmp. It is replacing the ConnectAmp, but this time around they've renamed it a little bit and it's just called amp. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with what Sonos are, it is a brand of network speakers and players so that you can stream things like Spotify, Tidal, TuneIn Radio and all sorts of other streaming services, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff. Stream it over the network to either a pod speaker or to a receiver, which then plugs into an amp, or in this case this has a power amp built straight into it, so you can just stream it straight to a set of speakers basically. But what I'm going to be doing for you guys today, as is obvious by the title, I'm going to unbox the new Sonos amp and we're going to have a look at what comes with it in the box and see what we think. Okay, so I've got the new box here with the new amp in it. Gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like once I got it out of the box on the front there. I will compare this to the ConnectAmp, its predecessor, in a little bit after I've got this all unboxed, and we'll have a look, maybe have a listen and see what we think of the new model. So this looks like there's just a sleeve, so we'll just lift this up. This sleeve, I'm going to need a knife. So the sleeve just lifts up and off. It's easier with two hands, but you know, there we go. I do like the way Sonos do their packaging. They've got this nice molded piece of cardboard here which is designed to fit perfectly into the shape of this to keep it held down. Amp, let's see if we can get it out of here. Underneath the main unit we've obviously got just kind of the manual and warranty information. And in here this is just going to be the power cable. We'll go through that stuff in a second. Let's have a look at the main unit. Just unstick this. And this is actually a wee bag that it comes in. So I wonder if I can get this out of here. And there it is. So we've got our touch sensitive buttons on the front. LED. Very cool. Alright. Let's just have a look at everything else that's in the box real quick. And then we will come back to this and have a look at more of the connections and that kind of thing. So in the box we have our power cable. And these are cool. So it comes with two of these adapters. Basically what these are is on the back of this amplifier it has what's called female banana connections, so that you can plug your speaker wire straight into it. And these are little adapters, so if you don't have banana plugs, these basically just plug into the speaker holes like that. And then now what you've got is your standard speaker type connectors. So you can put raw wire through there, you can put, if you've got fork terminals on your speaker wires, you can use them and tighten them up. But for a tidier look, you have banana wires just plugged straight into it. So you do get two of those, which is good. Okay, so let's have a closer look at the main unit. I'm just going to set it down on our play base here so we can see the back. So along the back of it, we have got, on the left hand side, well this is actually the right hand side, but looking at the back we've got the power connector, the link button, that's what you use to link it with the rest of your Sonos system, a analog input, white and red for left and right, HDMI input for your audio, two network RJ45 Ethernet ports, a subwoofer output, your right speaker output and your left speaker output. And that's everything along the back of it. Looking at this main circle on the top of it, in case you're unaware, so it's going to be hard to see, but that's actually a vent that goes all the way around there. The hot air gets blown out of that circular vent at the top, and then the intake is actually on the bottom of it. So you can see this whole thing is a great big grill, and they've even got in there a little, looks like an M5 or an M5 threaded adapter, so you can actually bolt this to the wall or bolt it to something else, a bracket, whatever you need to do. So it's very ideal for, you know, custom installers who need to be able to mount this up in certain locations. It doesn't just have to sit on the floor. That is rubberized, that circle there, so it's got a nice rubbery foot on the bottom. Vent, there we go, there's a better view of it. And it's got the serial number on the bottom there, and the pin, whatever that is for. I'm actually not sure what the pin's for, it's nothing to do with pairing. Construction wise, it is all from the feel of it, made entirely of plastic. This is interesting because the previous ConnectAmp actually had some metal in it, so I might do a comparison between them next. Okay, so I've got the amp hooked up, wired up, it's connected to our network. And we've got next to it the ConnectAmp. I just want to give you guys a few views so you can see the difference in size. So looking down the front of it, this is the new amp and the ConnectAmp, its predecessor. This ConnectAmp, as I was mentioning before, this entire silver piece is aluminium, so it's a great big heatsink. And then it has the vents on the top as well, with intake at the bottom. I find that slightly interesting just because the new amp is supposed to be rated for 125 watts by 2 RMS, so it's more powerful than the ConnectAmp, but it doesn't have a metal heatsink on it. It relies entirely on this extractor vent. Looking from the top, you can see the difference in footprint. The ConnectAmp actually is notably smaller. So if I line that up at the front, it's actually about the same size footprint once you take into account the old style speaker couplers. So what they've done is they've replaced these, obviously with the female banana connections, and then given you additional adapters for different types of speaker wire. And so this is what I was talking about. And so this is what I was talking about with the banana style speaker couplers. So these are just this is some Kimber 4TC with some Kimber banana lugs soldered onto it. So you see if you have speaker wires like this, which have these banana style connectors on them, then they literally just poke into these holes, just like that. And it's a fairly good solid connection. But then again, obviously if you don't have those connectors, those adapters that I showed you will allow you to put pretty much any other speaker wire onto it. Okay guys, so I've given you a bit of an overview of the new ConnectAmp and compared it to its predecessor, the ConnectAmp. I can't remember what I said. It's called the amp, the predecessor is the ConnectAmp. What I'm going to do now is a bit of a listening test. I'm just going to listen to something that I know quite well and has a bit of oomph behind it. I'm going to listen to Hey You by Pink Floyd. So I'm going to play it on the Sonos ConnectAmp first, which is the old one. It's rated at 50 watts by 2. It's what we're all used to. I just like to listen to it first to refresh my memory as to what sort of sound it gives off. And then I'll just switch it over to the new one, have a listen again, and see what we think is sounding different. There we go, Spotify, we want the Tidal version, so it's high resolution. By the way, this is using the new Monitor Audio Gold 200 speakers. If you want to see a video where I review these, click the link up in the corner, because I actually did a comparison video with these speakers to their predecessors, the other Gold 200s. So click that link if you want to check that out. But I just wanted to go for these speakers, because these speakers would probably be a wee bit overkill for these Sonos systems. They're worth $7.5 odd grand. They're really, really good speakers. But by doing that, what I've done is I've eliminated the speakers as being a weak link of the system. So these should be able to show the maximum amount of sound quality you can get out of Sonos. Let's have a listen. Out there on your own, sitting naked by the phone, would you touch me? Hey you, would you help me to carry the stone? Okay, that sounded pretty good. I always like to use songs like that, especially with the drums. When you've got a really good hard hit like that, that's a really good way I find to listen to amps to see what kind of power they're delving out. So what I'll do now is I'll just quickly switch it from the ConnectAmp over to the new Sonos amp. We'll just listen to the same piece again, and we'll see if it sounds any more powerful, any more clear. See what changes. So this new Sonos amp is, I better pause it. This new Sonos amp is rated to a higher power rating than what the ConnectAmp is. ConnectAmp, I believe, is supposedly 50 watts by 2. And the new, let's get this polarity the right way around. The new amp has been said to be 125 watts by 2, which is not unbelievable, honestly, because D-class amplifiers nowadays can be pretty damn impressive with their actual power output, but I don't know if I'm really expecting to hear more than double the kind of power of the predecessor. Just gonna listen to the same piece of music again on the new one. Let's see what we think. Out there on your own, sitting naked by the phone, would you touch me? Would you Okay, so that's interesting. I would say that immediately I'm not feeling like it's 125 watts of power. Where Sonos got their number from, I'm not actually sure. But when you say that the ConnectAmp is 50 watts and the amp is 125 watts, that doesn't feel like 75 watts of difference right there. It's definitely got a little bit more oomph than the ConnectAmp. I would say that it feels a little more powerful on the peak parts of the song, so where you've got the extra loud drum hit and just the high points. Those have some more drive behind them, but overall it doesn't seem like an amplifier which is 2.5 times as powerful as its last one. So it'll be interesting to see, like, if we could, I don't know if we can get some more deeper technical specifications of the output of this amplifier, but from what I can hear so far, it doesn't sound like an amp that is 2.5 times as powerful. As far as clarity goes, it does sound good. It does sound a smidge better, just a wee bit clearer. There's a little bit more fidelity to it. So ultimately, I think, you know, they've done well. It is definitely a better amp. It's got, you know, a little bit more drive on the high points, and it is clearer. So it is an improvement over the ConnectAmp. Retail pricing, the Connect amplifier went for $6.99, I believe, and the new Sonos amp is $11.99. So whether it's $500 difference or not is hard to say. Maybe what some of that is made up in is the different new connections. For instance, the new amplifier has an HDMI input, which allows you to feed audio to it from the HDMI ARC output of your TV. So there's some new technology in there. You can use it as a front, left and right speaker amplifier for your TV. You couldn't do that with the ConnectAmp before. You can use it for surround sound speakers, you can use it for just a stereo set. There's a bit more functionality going on in there. So ultimately I think they've designed a good new product. It's just going to be interesting to see how we go once we start installing these things into custom audio homes and see what we think of them. So thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it enjoyable, or at the very least interesting. If you did think it was a good video, give it a thumbs up, or leave me a little message in the comments. Again, if you've got any questions, chuck them down there and I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, maybe we'll do some more videos on this product later on in the year once we've started playing with the HDMI control side of this thing. Because from what I've heard, you are supposed to be able to use the HDMI input on this amplifier, the CEC or the ARC, to control your TV, which is something I really want to play around with. It's not something we do a lot of. We try and avoid CEC here because it's just not super reliable. But it would be interesting to see if we could, for instance, say to one of our Alexa enabled devices to turn the TV on and off and then control it through CEC. Not something we'll probably end up doing in a customer's home, but it would be cool to experiment with it and try it. So thank you guys for watching this video again. Play good music, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ka kite anō.